So find the product. So when it says find the product, that means we're making our box. Go ahead and make your box. And multiply the x plus 3 times 7x minus 2. Go ahead, fill in all 4 squares. So 7x times x is what? 7x squared. Because remember, you're adding the 1. So 1 plus 1 is x squared. 7x times 3, 21x. X times negative 2, negative 2x. And negative 2 times 3, negative 6. So when you combine your like terms, that would be these two squares. 21 minus 2 is 19. So your final answer would be 7x squared plus 19x minus 6. All right, who had that answer? Okay, go ahead and make your second box. Make your box. Take 3n minus 1 times 2n plus 5. Go ahead and fill in all 4 squares. All right, so what would be 3n times 2n? So Cortez, what did you put in this first box? 3n times 2n. 6. 3 times 2 is 6. n squared. Fiery, what did you put in this square right here? -2 or negative 2n? Should be -2n. Alan, what did you put in this square? 3n times 5. Oh, that's okay. So what did you put here? What would you put here? 3n times 5. 15n. And then Rowan, what would go in this last square here? -5, good. So now we're going to combine our like terms, so that would be these two. So your final answer that you would give me on the test would be 6n squared plus 13n minus 5. Who had that for their answer? All right, any questions about how we're getting that? So let's go ahead and finish out the last bit. We are taking chapter 11 and splitting it in half. So we're finishing up with the first half today. So in your note packet, go ahead and go to page 9. So go to page 9 in your notes. And we're going to do a few of the special products. So this was one of the homework questions. It says, what is this squared? Whenever you see a square on the outside of the parentheses, that means you're multiplying it against itself. So x plus 6 squared means x plus 6 times x plus 6. That's what that means. So make your box. And because it's squared, you're putting the x plus 6 across the top and down the side. Go ahead and fill in all 4 squares. So when you square something, you multiply it against itself. So x plus 6 times x plus 6. Go ahead and fill in all 4 squares. So you're multiplying, which means you're adding your powers. So go ahead, take a guess. Fill in all 4 squares. So in this first square, you have x times x. What is x times x, everybody? What's x times x? X squared, good. What's x times 6? 6x. And so we have that in both squares. And then lastly, 6 times 6 is 36. These 2 squares are like terms. So your final answer would be x squared plus 12x plus 36. Who had that? Raise your hand if you had that for your answer. All right, let's go ahead and do this part B. So for part B, it's 2x plus 9 squared. So again, that's 2x plus 9 times 2x plus 9. Go ahead, make your box. Fill in all 4 squares. So that means 2 of my squares are going to have the same thing. So 2x times 2x would be, what's 2x times 2x? 4x squared. Good. What about 2x times 9? 18x. Who had 18x? All right, and that's going to go in both of these squares. And then lastly, 9 times 9 is 81. So let's combine our like terms. So that would be these two. So your final answer on the test would be 4x squared plus 36x plus 81. All right, last two. Go ahead and find your product. So make your box. So these are what we call opposites because it's a +5 and a -5. So let's go ahead and make your box. And I'm going to have you go ahead and do both of them. Fill in that one. So this is not the same. This isn't a square. One is a positive and one is a negative. So go ahead and fill it in. Fill in all 8 squares. Okay, so for the first one, I had z squared, a 5z, a negative 5z, and a negative 25. Who had that for these 4? So whenever this happens, we call this the product of a sum and a difference. That just means we have opposite signs. Your like terms will cancel. So they're going to be opposites. So when we add these together, they cancel out. So you're really just left with z squared and then a minus 25. So that would be your answer. So for this first one, it equals z squared minus 25 because 2 of the squares will cancel. Same thing for the second one. We have a positive 6x and a negative 6x. They cancel out. So you're left with just 4x squared minus 9. And that would be your solutions. Okay, so we have reached the end of chapter 11A. So you have opportunities. You have a lot of opportunities for extra credit. If you show me homework 3 today, you get extra credit. Also, if you finish the study guide and show me that tomorrow, you get extra credit. So every unit I build in at least, what's 15? 15 plus 25 is 40 points extra credit that you can earn. So use this time now to work on either your homework or your quiz review. So no one's head should be down. I don't mind if you're listening to music, but this is work time. Any questions? And if you have homework to show me, bring it up and I will put those points on your purple paper. I am collecting those purple sheets on Wednesday and putting in your points.